Hey everyone, Matt J. Doyle here with Team Easyway and Tap Interviews. How are you all doing today? I'm here with the amazing actress, Miss Carolyn Carpenter. Hi Carolyn, how are you doing?
Hello, how you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great. So please just elaborate a little bit more about your acting career.
As Matt said, my name is Carolyn Carpenter. I've been acting for many, many years since I was a little girl. I started in my hometown in Chicago, where I did a lot of theater work, and kind of grew up through the theater and moved out to Los Angeles once I graduated college. And decided I really wanted to do film ever since I was a little girl. Even when I was doing theater, I would watch the Academy Awards and the Emmys and go to the movies, and like that was what I really wanted to be doing. But certainly at the time, I think a little more now. Chicago's gotten to be more of a film market, but when I was younger, it had not really blossomed into much of that. But it's a huge theater town, huge stand-up comedy town. So had the ability to train at Steppenwolf Theater, the Second City, a lot of the great theater into the Goodman School of Drama, with where I got my degree from. The Theater School of DePaul University is what it was called when I went there, but formerly known as the Goodman School of Drama. So had a lot of live performance background, but still always just really wanted to be in movies, and knew that if I really wanted to do that, Los Angeles was the place that you had to be. So I moved to Los Angeles after I graduated college, and started trying to work in film. And through that, I actually took an acting class where I met several friends of mine. And our coach at the time, and gosh, this was many, many years ago. So this was back in 2004. And it was a much different idea than it is now. Now this would seem very intuitive to people, I think. But our coach challenged us and said, hey, if you don't want to sit around and wait for agent to call you with auditions, write a script, get your friends together, and produce your own work. And that was a class of, I think, 25 to 30 people. Out of that whole class, it was just my business partner and I that actually took our acting coach seriously and decided to produce. Oh, I think I lost you there, Matt. You still there?
Yes.
All right. Anyway, we decided to start producing our own work. So I would say that's really been a lot of what I've been doing for the last 10 to 15 years of my career, is working with my team to produce scripts for ourselves and cast ourselves in the roles that we would have loved to have been getting. Lately, as our projects have gotten more traction, we've been starting to get cast in things outside, out in town in Hollywood and stuff. But really, that was how we learned to hone our craft as film actors. Is we all just would write scripts, and we chipped in all our money to buy a bunch of cameras and equipment and film our own stuff. That was back when digital first started coming out, and goodness knows now everybody owns a digital camera and it's on your phone. I mean, so
Yeah.
yeah, a lot easier to do that now than it was back when we started, but a great way to cut our teeth in the industry, to get to know a lot of people here, and to really learn what we were doing without the pressure of being on somebody else's set where you're letting somebody down, or killing a budget to do 10, 15 takes because you're not quite there yet. Yeah, so that's my history with acting and producing and being in the industry.
Awesome. So you were recently on my web TV show series, or our web TV show series, I should say, called The Artist Process. How was that experience for you?
It was fantastic. First of all, I love the concept, Matt, of what you're doing. I love your whole idea of giving actors a chance to do work and experiment, and these cool little scripts where, you have the opportunity to really dig into the character, dig into the scenario. You're not overwhelmed by, oh my gosh, here's a 160-page feature film script that I have to memorize in a course of 3 weeks and then go up and shoot. It was great to be able to dig into the character, dig into the scenario and what was going on. And I would have to say, I really give you props, Matt, for figuring out a way to keep going despite COVID and quarantine and everything that we've all been faced with over the last 8 months. It was wonderful to be able to book work as an actor during a period of time where I was starting to be like, I'm never going to get to do this again, work again, and are we ever going to be safe on a set? And I think it was great that you were able to find a workaround with that. For those that don't know, Matt shot his piece separate. I shot my piece at my house with my digital camera, and it worked phenomenally. It came together really beautifully, and I think it was an experimental way and a brave way to explore how we get around this situation and drive forward and still produce work and be creative, even when we're being told we have to stay at home.
Absolutely. So I just want to share with the audience a couple of websites that you have. First, I just want to take a quick look at your IMDb, so just bear with me while I share the screen.
Yep.
And there it is there. We can see that your star meter has gone up.
Wonderful.
Yeah, is that because of the artist process, or?
Possibly, yes, because I have nothing else new that I've added in the last year. So that's fantastic. Great.
And we can see that you've done a lot of stuff producing.
Yep.
You have a lot of credits there, and then we can see there the artist process credit is on there.
Excellent.
And then the rest of your credits. And you also have some as a writer as well, and some of yourself. And you get one for yourself on TAP interviews as well, should they approve it, and they have been approving them also.
Oh, fantastic. Glad to hear that.
Yeah. So that's your IMDb.
Uh-huh.
So now that we're talking about you have a lot of production credits, I would just like to share your production website with everybody. It's called 5 Talent Entertainment, right?
That's correct. Yeah. And there it is.
There. Independent filmmakers, more than storytellers. And it has like your films, web TV awards, your story, jobs, and contact.
Correct.
That looks like a pretty awesome website. And they can contact you there.
Yep.
You have web TV, films, and then awards. Okay, so you have a few awards there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, and also you have a personal website, which I'll just share with everybody now as well. And there it is there. Looks like a nice website. Has your homepage, the talent agency, IMDb link, some of your headshots. Oh, that's amazing. Your reel and clips.
Yep.
Awesome. And then, of course, your resume as well.
Yes.
And all your details.
Yep.
So it's getting closer to Christmas. Do you have any plans to spend time with family, or what are you doing for Christmas?
Well, my family is mostly back in Chicago. So my husband and I are just going to stay at home. My family's come up with an interesting plan this year, so we'll see how this goes. They've decided that each of us, my brother and I and our spouses as a team, and my mom and my stepdad, had to come up with a game to challenge the other people in the family with. So at noon, we're logging on to Zoom and we're presenting our game and the rules to the other teams. And then everybody's going to log off and get 30 minutes to try to complete the game and achieve whatever the goals are of these games. So it'll be really interesting to see what everybody comes up with in terms of their games and how this is going to get played. My husband and I have decided to do a take on Nailed It, the TV show on Netflix, where they have to create baked goods that look like something from Pinterest. So in advance, we've sent my mom and my brother a gingerbread house, like one of those ones that you have to build and construct. And they don't know what's in there yet. They're going to open it on Christmas Day and then find out that their game is that they have 20 minutes to work with their spouse as a team to construct this gingerbread house. And Santa's watching, so they have to record themselves doing it. What they don't know is they're not only getting judged on whether or not they construct the house as close to the picture on the box as possible, but that they're also being judged on how well they get along with the other person while they're trying to do this task in a unreasonably short amount of time. So it should be.
Yeah, sounds like fun. So I'll just show everybody something else on the internet real quick. Just let me share it with you. It's the blog that we wrote for you, and we're going to add those other two websites. I'm going to add those other two websites for you as well.
Fantastic.
So people can go to mattjdoyle.com and look at the blog and click on all your links, or they can go to your websites, which, Carolyn Carpenter, and what was the rest of it for the .com?
Carolyn Carpenter Actress.com.
Carolyn Carpenter Actress.com.
Yep.
And 5talententertainment.com.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm just going to show everybody what I did on this is the Artist Process webpage, and it has our two blogs. It has the post-production YouTube video and the set pics, and also you can see there as Carolyn was saying, we filmed it separately but pieced it together, and there's a shot of me and a shot of Carolyn in the scene, so you can watch that there as well, or on YouTube, and it's also on Facebook. And some good news is it's had over 400 views already.
Yay, wonderful.
Yeah. So that's great news, and we're going to be promoting it even more to get more views. And then, of course, it goes on TV on the Easy Way Network, and I'm in the process of getting all the videos ready and converted to the suitable, specifics for them. They're already on Roku, but we're going to get them on a lot of other platforms as well.
Excellent. I'm very excited for that. Thank you again for this wonderful opportunity, Matt. I really appreciate it.
You are welcome, and it's helped me a lot. The casting directors like me a lot more now, and they're taking more interest in me, and I'm getting very close to booking some big roles, so hopefully it'll help all the other people that have been on it as well.
Excellent.
So what are your thoughts about the pandemic? How has it affected you?
I think that we have, as the entertainment industry, we've done a good job of figuring out how to keep going despite the pandemic. When the pandemic first hit, it hit right at the worst time for actors and for productions as a whole. The shutdown happened in mid-March, which typically, being that it's pilot season when all the new television shows are being filmed, that is like the busiest time of the year for anybody in any type of arm of the entertainment industry that has to do with TV or streaming TV. And personally, I have been really looking forward to this pilot season. I had just gotten my new agent. I had been working with a new acting coach, and he's been phenomenal, and just doing all this great prep work so that I could hit the ground running in January. And January and February is booking a lot, and it was great. And then March came, and everything shut down. And a lot of the work that I had booked in January and February got stopped. It got totally shut down. Those pilots were never even shot because everything happened with the economy and all the other different side effects of the pandemic. So I'm still waiting for producers to call me and say whether or not these things are actually even going to come to fruition. My guess at this point is no. So that was a really hard loss to have booked work, watch it vanish because the production companies have lost their budget, because without knowing whether or not they were going to be able to shoot and how they would shoot, needing all this different PPE and COVID specialists on site. It's been a little rough. So in the summer really dragged too, waiting for SAG to make decisions in terms of what defined a safe set and what was going to get us back working. I think it seemed to me that around like July, August timeframe, they had started to get their groove and things were starting to come back a little. And now I can tell you, I don't know about everybody, but Matt, it sounds like you're kind of in a similar situation. It's super busy right now in terms of auditions, in terms of work getting going. This is usually a dead time in Hollywood. This is like, take your holidays, you got Hanukkah, you got Christmas, enjoy time with your family, and then hit the ground running in January. There is no time being wasted right now. Everybody is trying to get things cast, get things rolling, and get everybody working again, which is exciting. We definitely don't want to face another situation like this next year. So I'm really proud of everyone in the entertainment industry who's been able to come together and bring work back and get us back up producing and acting and working again.
Awesome. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of self-tapes.
Yep, me too. Me too. Yeah, my backdrop and my digital camera have been hard at work lately. And
Yeah, exactly. So how is your new acting coach?
he's wonderful. His name is Chris Game, and he's probably one of the best coaches in Hollywood that I've ever worked with. Part of me is like, do I give him the business because I love him and I want him to be successful? And then part of me is like, then what happens when he has no more time? No, he's phenomenal. He is great. We do online. We were meeting in person at Cast Studios in Hollywood, but then when the pandemic hit, they had to close down and we couldn't do in-person classes anymore. And without missing a beat, Chris was like, that's fine, we're jumping onto Zoom, we'll figure it out. And we started just continuing our weekly classes on Zoom. And thank God he did that, because it taught us to learn how to do self-tape auditions really quickly. The other thing that I'm noticing that's becoming super common is Zoom callbacks. So most of my auditions have been like self-tape at home with my backdrop and my camera, and then email it into the casting directors. But the callbacks or chemistry reads have all been on Zoom. So then you're on Zoom, like sitting here talking just like you and I are right now, Matt, but you're doing your scene with your scene partner. And I think that could have turned into a situation that was very confusing or challenging for a lot of actors. I am thankful that I stayed in class and kept working with Chris during the pandemic, because that's how the class is structured. We're reading with our scene partners through Zoom. So when the Zoom callbacks started happening, didn't miss a beat. It was like, oh, all right, that's just like class. Whereas I think if I had been continuing to go to class in person and for some reason the industry decided to shift to that, then all of a sudden it would have been like, oh, this is weird. I don't have like a person there I'm acting with. And it helped with taping the artist process. Like when I had to like take a night off from class to shoot some stills for that, for costume and hair. And I told Chris I wasn't going to be there and told him what I was working on. He's like, oh, let me know how it goes. When I joined the class next day, he goes, so how was it? I said, well, it kind of reminds me of like class. Like I just did a self-tape and sent it in, and then he's going to edit it together. And I think this is going to be part, I have a hard time believing that casting directors are going to go back to making in-person auditions their primary audition method. Just being a producer, having to rent the space to hold the auditions, and you got to get lunch catered in for everybody. You got to hire a reader. All that stuff is so cumbersome that I really do think that doing at least the first read as a self-tape and then probably doing one or more callbacks on Zoom, have a feeling that's going to stick even after the pandemic is done. So I think as actors, it's great to know how to do that and be prepared.
Yeah, and just one last question. How are you finding your new agent?
He's good. I'm with ASAP Talent. You know, I have to be honest, I haven't booked a whole lot of work through my agency. A lot of it has been work that I found on my own, but I don't fault my agent for that because of the whole thing with COVID. A lot of the work that my agent has been having available to his actors had been like real people stuff. So like the commercial industry was already struggling pre-COVID because a lot of advertising agencies are wanting to go non-union with all of their projects, which is frustrating for those of us who are in SAG because you're kind of taught through your career that that's what you want to do is join the union because that's when you can be cast in like, you know, the bigger movies, the bigger television shows, but you end up, commercials can sometimes be your bread and butter as an actor. So, you know, making that move from non-union to union can sometimes cost you some money because of the fact that the union commercial market is not as developed. So in order to save money, union commercial productions have been a lot of like, real family that owns a Toyota, real family that, has USAA life insurance, like stuff like that. And it's been tough because I don't necessarily fall into all of those categories. So that's been a weird element to auditioning and working with my agent is like, do you have any work for me? And he's like, do you have a child between the ages of 4 and 9? No? Okay, then they want a real family. I'm kind of worried that might be another thing that will stick after COVID is that commercial producers will get used to the fact that the commercials have a different sense of realism to them when you're using actual people. And this might be kind of another area where actors lose a little bit of work to circumstances that as an actor you may not personally have. But other than that, I'm hoping that this year, now the production's starting to pick back up again, auditions are picking back up, that my agent will be able to call a lot more because we'll have a lot more fictional work and scripted work that I'm already starting to see come down the pipe now that people are more familiar with what's required for a COVID-safe set. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. I think you're a great artist. You did a fantastic job on the artist process. A lot of people have given me very positive feedback about it.
Great. Thank you.
We're wishing you a happy holidays and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and a great 2021. I would like to have you back on the artist process as soon as possible and do some more collaborating with you. And hopefully we might see each other on other sets as well. You never know.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Matt. And you have a wonderful holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and would love to work with you again. This has been a fantastic experience, and I fully support what you do. I really am. I'm so grateful for the opportunity and grateful to trailblazers like you who have figured out ways to keep artists working and keep acting and going even through this challenging, crazy 2020 that we've all had.
Absolutely, Carolyn. So before we go, I'd just like to thank our sponsors, EasywayMobile.com, EasywayLiveEvents.com, EasywayWall.com, and EasywayNetwork.com. I encourage people to go to EasywayWall.com and set up a free profile. Eric's an amazing man. He's heading in the right direction. He's in a position where he can help a lot of people. If you connect on that EasywayWall.com, you'll be able to connect with other high-profile people, ordinary people, and celebrities as well, and the people that are hot right now. So I suggest that everybody does that. I have my own profile. It's almost had 1,000 views. So we are growing. His TV network is growing. The audience is growing, and it's getting exciting. Should some of us, get into the mainstream productions, and then others follow, it will increase our audience even further to that network. And you don't know what could happen. We could all end up on Netflix. and other amazing platforms like HBO and Showtime. And wouldn't it be great?
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, but it's good that we're all collaborating together, getting along together as a team. We're all working with each other, helping each other, encouraging each other. I believe we're at a good point now. We've put in a lot of hard work. I watched the scene several times, and once again, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
I would love to have you back on the show. Thank you very much for the interview today. And as I said, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Thank you so much, Matt. You take care.
You too. And one last thing I wanted to ask you is, do you have any other things you want to share with us, or a message to people, a positive message, or?
Oh, wow. Let's see. A positive message is just stay in the game. If you're an artist, if you're an actor, producer, director, writer, whatever your involvement in this is, I think the number one thing I've experienced in my career is feeling like there's so many mountains that you have to climb. And I mean, every time I'm like, oh man, this is done. I should just throw in the towel and, give it all up and live my life free of all this craziness. It always kind of hooks me back in. And I think we all have it in our hearts and in our souls to do this. We love what we do. That's why we're artists.
Yes.
So just keep going. Don't give up.
Yes.
There's never a reason to.
Never give up. That's exactly right. Carolyn, you're an amazing artist. You have a great energy. I'm so glad I got to meet you. I hope we build a lifetime relationship. I wish you and your family all the best. And once again, thank you for the interview today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Matt. You too. Take care.
Okay, bye, Carolyn.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.